Hi, Odyssey Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain an adventure comedy movie named Clifford the Big Red Dog. Feel free to share your preferences for the types of movies you'd like to see more of in the comments section below. The story unfolds in a warehouse where a mother dog is nurturing her puppies, including one that stands out with its vibrant red coat. Two animal control officers enter and take away the mother dog and her litter, inadvertently leaving behind the red puppy. Unable to catch up with them before they vanish, the little red dog now faces the daunting reality of being alone in the bustling city. Elsewhere in Harlem, New York is Emily Elizabeth Howard, who just started school on a scholarship and doesn't have any friends, with her always getting teased by a snobby girl named Florence. Emily lives with her mother Maggie, who has to leave Emily for a work emergency. Emily then goes out around the neighborhood to collect cans to recycle for a school charity drive. She meets other people like bodega owner Sanchez and his employee Raul, lawyer couple Mr. and Mrs. Jarvis, cranky neighbor Mrs. Krullerman, and magician Malik. At the same time, Maggie's little brother Casey doesn't have a home and stays in his van. A police officer, who knows him, says he needs to find a new place and pay some fines. Casey goes for a job interview but arrives more than an hour late, making him feel really down. After that, he goes to Maggie and Emily's apartment. They're not happy to see him because he acts immature, but he's the best. The little red dog, fleeing danger in the city, seeks refuge in a park, where he encounters Mr. Bridwell and is taken in. Later, Casey shows Emily a tent for rescued animals run by Mr. Bridwell. Inside, they find various animals. Despite Emily's affection for the little red dog, Casey insists they can't bring him home, leaving her disappointed. Emily faces mockery at school from Florence for collecting cans for charity while other kids have their parents write checks. She befriends Owen Yu, who has a crush on her but feels awkward around her. During class, Emily endures embarrassment as her bag of cans breaks open, spilling them in front of everyone. Upon returning home, Emily discovers the red puppy has hidden in her backpack. Impressed by the puppy's apparent liking for the name, Emily names him Clifford. When she shows Clifford to Casey, he insists they must return the puppy to Mr. Bridwell due to a no-pets policy. Heartbroken, Emily retreats to her room, tearfully expressing her desire for them to be big and strong so they won't face harm. A tear falls onto Clifford's nose during her emotional moment. The next morning, Emily is astonished to find that Clifford has turned into a giant. Before she can explain to Casey, he spots the enormous Clifford and panics. They scramble to figure out what to do, just as the building's strict superintendent, Mr. Packard, arrives to fix the apartment's dishwasher. In a frenzy, Emily and Casey attempt to conceal Clifford from Mr. Packard. Once he departs, Casey suggests taking Clifford to a vet and then finding Mr. Bridwell to either return Clifford or find a way to shrink him back. Emily and Casey attempt to hide Clifford in Casey's van, but Owen arrives to deliver Emily's schoolwork. Clifford attracts attention, and he dashes into the park, drawn by people in giant plastic bubbles. He believes he can fetch them and ends up chasing a man until he pops the bubble. Meanwhile, at a company called Lifegro, CEO Zach Tyran struggles to develop a formula to make food grow bigger. Frustrated after failed experiments with other animals, he sees a video of Clifford circulating on social media and Tyran believes he has found the solution. Learning that Emily is frequently seen with Clifford, he orders his team to find her to locate the dog. They track down her address, getting to Mr. Packard first. Emily, Casey, and Owen bring Clifford to the vet, who's amazed at how big Clifford is. The dog is so heavy that he breaks the scale when he sits on it, but the vet says Clifford is super healthy. Emily and Owen speak to a clinic worker named Lucille, who knows about Bridwell and how the animals he's given people have been a big help in their tough times. At school, Casey and Owen sneak into the office to dig up info on Mr. Bridwell. In the cafeteria, Florence tries to tease Emily again, but Clifford shows up, impressing all the other kids. Emily retorts by suggesting Florence is upset because Clifford is getting more attention. Clifford adds to the scene by licking Florence and covering her in drool. She runs off while the other kids burst into laughter. Returning home, Emily and Casey find an eviction notice due to Packard discovering Clifford in their apartment. Outside, Mr. Jarvis slips from a building, and Clifford rescues him with his teeth, astonishing onlookers. Soon after, Tyran and his goons attempt to take Clifford, placing a tracker in him, but Clifford escapes. Raoul and Casey fight the goons while Emily and Owen try to keep Clifford safe, successfully outrunning the villains. However, Tyran goes to the police, falsely claiming Clifford belongs to Lifigro and escaped from their facility. Owen takes Emily, Casey, and Clifford to his wealthy home, where they discover Owen's family's affluence. Clifford tries to play with Owen's dog but ends up licking him and almost swallowing him accidentally. Meanwhile, Casey tries to cover for Emily when Maggie calls to inquire about her absence from school. When Owen's dad arrives, he suggests an animal sanctuary in China for Clifford, but Emily hesitates due to the distance. Complicating matters, they see on the news that Watkins is offering a reward for Clifford's capture, turning Emily and Casey into fugitives. Casey and Emily decide to find Mr. Bridwell the next day, learning he will be at the hospital, to seek a solution. The following day, Owen stays with Clifford while Emily and Casey visit the hospital. Although they find Mr. Bridwell's bow tie, a patient informs them that the man they seek has passed away. Faced with no alternatives, Emily reluctantly agrees to send Clifford to Mr. Yu's animal sanctuary. They bring him to the docks, where Emily sadly bids farewell to him. Emily and Casey express their sadness, believing Mr. Bridwell had passed away. However, Casey learns that the man who died was not Mr. Bridwell. Owen informs them that Mr. Bridwell's tent will be in the park again. They see news reporting that Clifford was intercepted on the water and taken by Lifigro. Worried about Clifford's safety, Emily, Casey, and Owen, along with other friends like Mr. and Mrs. Jarvis, Sanchez, Raoul, Mrs. Krullerman, and Malik, head to Lifigro to rescue him. Simultaneously, Maggie sees news of Clifford with Emily's image and rushes home. The group creates distractions around the building while Emily, Casey, and Owen locate the room where Clifford is held. They chase away the scientists, freeing the big red dog. Clifford, Emily, and Owen dash to the park, just as the other experiment animals at Lifigro are released and retaliate against the scientists. Casey seizes a reporter's microphone, addressing the news and revealing that Tyran lied about Clifford, asserting that he belongs to Emily. Emily, Owen, and Clifford reach Manhattan Bridge Park, finding Mr. Bridwell. A crowd gathers, amazed by Clifford. Emily asks for help, and Mr. Bridwell suggests she stand up for herself and Clifford. She delivers a passionate speech, emphasizing their uniqueness and that Clifford poses no threat. Tyran arrives with Watkins, attempting to claim Clifford, but the tracker magically reads that Clifford belongs to Emily. Tyran is humiliated, and Watkins allows the crowd to approach Clifford. Later, Mr. Packard has a change of heart, allowing Emily and Maggie to stay in their apartment. Casey finds his own place and secures a real job. The community unites to build a giant doghouse for Clifford, grateful for how he has brought everyone together. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.